Well, it's 8:09, our guest of the day segment. First off, we have with us Dr. Kristen Rickey, Superintendent, West Delaware Schools, as meeting held last. A lot of stuff.
Yes, we did.
So why don't we start with, we'll just kind of run down some of the new business that you did go over. You got the bids for the bonds for the project.
Yep. So our project is moving right along as planned. So the bids that we approved last night were the bids for the actual sales of the bond and the interest rate that we'll pay. And I'm very proud of our district and our business office in particular and the stewardship of the board because of all that, we had a very positive bond rating, which gave us some very good rates. So our rate that was approved last night was 1.85% overall. So that's very, very positive in terms of the cost to our taxpayers. So we're very pleased with that.
All right. And program of studies, you get some interesting things coming on the horizon with that.
That's all right. Right. So people may be surprised that we're already talking about student enrollment for next year and what courses they'll take so we can do the planning for that at our high school. So next year we have a couple of interesting additions. One is we're working on an agronomy apprenticeship. So that's not been approved yet, but we're putting some courses in there that will help support that agronomy apprenticeship. So we're very pleased to be able to offer that, hopefully, once it gets approved. And another course change is we'll be offering computer science courses at the high school next year. So we're pleased to be continuing to advance our offerings to our students.
So agronomy apprenticeship, I assume that is kind of like some of the other apprenticeships that you have been turning out some great workers in the workforce here in the area.
Yes, and it really gives our students an opportunity to really experience the job and be prepared when they leave high school. And so it's a great opportunity for the students, but also for our local business and industry to really develop those that skilled workforce early.
All right. An approval of the increase of substitute teacher pay. That's been a kind of something a lot of folks have been talking about lately with the subs, the availability of subs, and who can do it.
Yes, very of subs, but of course, as most people know, the workforce in general is very much an issue in Iowa and across the country. There are teacher shortages all across the state. There are also substitute shortages. And so we've been struggling to fill our open positions. And of course, there still is some illness out there. And so we have some absenteeism. So we really believe it's well overdue to pay our substitute teachers a bit more. So we had been paying $110 a day. We increased that last night. Beginning immediately, we'll pay $130 a day. In addition, we have a tiered pay system now where our substitutes will earn $130 a day for the first 30 days. And starting with day 31 that they work, that will increase to $145 a day. So we hope that that helps with that workforce shortage, as well as shows our substitutes how much we value what they do for us.
All right. The solar project, that's something that we're talking about a little bit too. So what happened with that last night?
Yeah, that's taken a long time because there's so much for us to learn about solar, and we're trying to combine that project with what we're already doing in our larger construction project. It's completely separate, doesn't have anything to do with the bond sale, but we want to make sure that we coordinate those two things. So last night, the board, although they didn't take official action, had a discussion and decided they'd like to look into moving forward with solar panels on the roof of the bus barn and trying to gain back some of our electrical costs at the bus barn. So we're hoping that next month we'll have a formal bid process for that and be able to approve that.
All right. A couple of other things, some activity type stuff you have going on with the middle school softball agreement.
Yeah, so that is really exciting as well. Currently, our middle school girls participate in softball through the Manchester Kids League, but it's become a little bit difficult for them to get games because many of the schools in the WAMAC actually have interscholastic sports for middle school girls softball. And so it's harder for them to find games if they don't have that through the school. So our activities director, Matt Weiss, has been working really closely with Manchester Kids League and the city, and we really appreciate that partnership. So by doing that, we're going to be able to offer that as a middle school sport. Then that will partner with the city and again the Kids League to provide what they need in terms of uniforms and a field and so on. And West Delaware will provide a coach, but that will give our girls an opportunity to have more games available to them. Some people may wonder, well, why is it just 7th grade? Well, because when you reach 8th grade, you play at high school level. And why is it girls and not boys? It's less of an issue with boys because there aren't any WAMAC schools that offer middle school boys baseball. And that has to do with things like pitching restrictions and things like that. So it's just not available for boys, so it doesn't create a problem, but it does for girls. So we want to be able to offer that to them.
So creating more opportunities for the young athletes.
Absolutely.
Very good. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
I really appreciate people wanting to be involved in the board meetings. We have people attending as well as watching on Facebook Live, and we're very happy to have that involvement. And as always, call me if you have any questions.
All right, Dr. Kristen Rickey, the superintendent at West Delaware, with our meeting recap from the school board meeting held last night as the Guest of the Day segment continues, brought to you by Bill Thomas Farm Bureau Financial Services.